I never thought I'd hear my boyfriend admit, in front of a therapist, that the version of himself my family adored was just an act. It was a Tuesday, and I woke up thinking we'd argue about chores again, not unravel everything we'd built. He stared straight ahead, hands clenched, and said he'd memorized my dad's football stats, faked interest in my mom's vegan recipes, even picked up a fake allergy just to fit in. My jaw dropped. I felt like I was sitting with a stranger who'd been studying me for an exam. The therapist asked why, and he shrugged, eyes flicking to me with a blank sort of terror. If her family didn't like me, she'd leave me, he said. My stomach twisted at the bluntness. I flashed back to every night he'd left early from dinners, every time he'd shut down when my brother got too personal. I'd chalked it up to nerves. But now I pictured him rehearsing jokes in the mirror, just scanning my old photo albums for clues. I wondered if the man I loved even existed. The fight that followed was ugly. I accused him of using me as a prop for some fantasy life. He shot back that I cared more about appearances than honesty. I screamed that I didn't even know who he was. He confessed, almost laughing, that he didn't either. That he'd built so many versions of himself for different people, he couldn't remember which one was real. When I threatened to leave, he just nodded like he'd expected it all along. As I packed my bags, I found a crumpled sheet of paper in his jacket pocket, a letter to himself, listing traits he thought my family would admire. It was dated before we'd even met. That's when it hit me. He hadn't just lied to me, he'd been running from himself long before I came along. And as I walked out, I realized I'd ignored every red flag, desperate for a storybook romance, even if it meant falling for a ghost.